Welcome back to Tier 5 ALR GT7 Season 8 Round 6. This is the feature race, so it's reverse order of what we just witnessed in the sprint race. So we got Quackhouse on pole with David and Supercracker just behind him as we head into the first, well, we've actually already had the first turn. We've got a rolling start here. There is already a three-way battle and someone's in the wall. It looked like it was Marvel. But he's managed to keep, well, he's lost quite a few positions there actually. There's a whole gaggle of cars clamoring and a little bit of contact here and there. Looks like someone just got wiped out. It's like Black Widow and Jin and Stuart actually, and Danger all the way at the back there as well. Must have had a mistake a bit earlier on. But we still got Quackhouse in the lead. He's getting chased down by David, and JP's already moved all the way up into third. Quackhouse does have damage though, which is going to compromise him all the way up through the tunnel. Yeah, he's still got damage, so he's not going to be able to hit the top speeds. He's struggling to get past 168 here. Whereas behind, yeah, Davi's going 167, and JP's going to join in here as well. It's a little bit of contact at the wall as we go potentially going three wide into the hairpin. Davi does have P1 for now. It looks like JP's going to try and hog the inside of the exit. It looks like we're three wide on the exit as well. JP's got the lead for now. Great piece of driving by these three, and JP comes out on top. It's not over yet though, because Davi took a bit of a wider entry into there, and it's allowed Quackhouse to stay really close, and Millsy's about to join this battle as well. Millsy had a strong sprint. He finished in P8 and he's already in the top 4 here, so if you could get past Quackhouse, it looks like he's going to. Yep, he has got past Quackhouse, but Quackhouse may get slipstream into turn 1, so Millsy will have to go defensively. Doesn't look like he's doing it, but I don't think Quackhouse is quite close enough. Black Widow made huge progress all the way up to P6 after starting in P16. 10 spots in a single lap. Now will Millsy be able to have a late lunch? He's going for it on David. David leaves plenty of room, goes really wide. You can see Quackhouse going wide in the back as well, missing his braking point there. And now Millsy's up to P2 and could be challenging for the lead of the race as we head towards the tunnel. Really long swooping right-hander, which David made a slight contact with the wall. That will affect his ability to close into Millsy, but he has done in his AMG. He does have a speed advantage as well, so he could be challenging as we enter the hairpin, or potentially out of the tunnel. So he tucks him behind out the tunnel. Millsy's already going defensive towards the hairpin. He does not want David anywhere near him in the corner, but David looks like he lost a little bit of time and he's not going to be able to challenge just there. So that's a good outcome there for JP. He managed to avoid getting challenged there. David hits the wall and Quackhouse has got Black Widow all over the back of him. I can't imagine he'll be able to keep her behind for too much longer. T Smithy, who finished 3rd, has made his way up to 6th as well, and Berserk, who finished 2nd, is in 7th place. So our podium position finishers are all in the top 7 already. So there was a mistake there for Black Widow. We kind of missed it. Let's join. She was just behind Quackhouse. Oh, no mistake. It's just a great bit of traction there for T Smithy. And then Black Widow kind of gets clattered into the wall there, but does get a bit of damage as well, so that's going to compromise her and is potentially going to allow Berserk to overtake her as well as we finish our 2nd lap of this feature race. It should be 21 laps for the race winners, but we might dip into the 20-minute territory if there's incidents like what we're seeing. But Berserk's managed to get back past Black Widow really well. He did get a couple of overtakes done on her, but ultimately lost out in the end. She does have the pace advantage in this Corvette. Definitely suits the sprint race more than the feature race, but definitely a strong contender to get a double win again. As we see Esti moving really late on Mags, but goes wide into the opening of the square corners, and Mags gets back past. Oh, everyone's pretty close together. T. Smithy must have had a mistake somewhere as well, because he's got a queue of cars behind him. Actually, David's in third place. Yeah, David, actually there was no mistake from Smithy. It's just David's dropped off the back of Millsy and JP. Millsy's also taken the lead of the race. I feel like we need to go just rewind and see what happened there. That was quite a while ago. Okay. So JP hits the wall there. He doesn't have damage though, but it is enough to help Millsy pass him fairly straightforwardly as they started lap 3. Let's go fast forward a little bit. Yeah, this is where we're entering the tunnel. JP's lost a bit of time to Millsy as well. David has Smithy all over the back of him, and Berserk is all over the back of Quackhouse as well. All sorts of action going on so far in this feature race. Quackhouse still has his position ahead of Berserk, and Smithy looks like he's going to make a late move at the exact same time as Berserk behind him. Yeah, great little bit of move for Smithy, but let's go back and see what happened to these two. They both went incredibly wide. So you can see Berserk's basically pushing that Vantage, which doesn't have good straight line speed to be fair, out of the tunnel. And he does brake very late, as does Quackhouse. They both outbrake themselves. And yeah, that's Black Widow just getting 2 free positions there. Oh, Berserk will be kicking himself. That should have been P5 for him, and Black Widow should have been stuck behind Quackhouse, but now she doesn't have to bother. Berserk is holding on to the back of Black Widow though. And they're both very, very close to David. There's probably going to be 1 or 2 overtakes in the next lap or so. This is good for Black Widow because she's going to be able to reel in the car ahead, who's just gone and connected with the barrier a little bit on corner exit, take advantage of the slipstream, and actually gets the move done really early before we even enter this small tunnel. Now is Berserk going to do the same into the square corners? Yeah, David kind of locks up under braking a little bit, and as you see Quackhouse going wide again in that corner. David is trying to get the position back, but got compromised on exit. It looks like Black Widow earned a half-second penalty there as well, which at the end of the lap might bring her back into the equation. Quackhouse, despite the mistakes he's making, is really close to these guys still. Probably because they were battling through those 4 or 5 corners. See what's happening a little bit further back. SD, oh, there is a nice little battle going on here just behind Dr. SD between Danger and Lil Sheepy. Lil Sheepy dropped all the way back to 10th, so he had a great start in the sprint, not so much in the feature. He breaks very, very late, does Dench, and he actually makes the apex really nice. And Dr. SD has to go really wide around the corner, which allows Sheepy to go straight through as well. And Sheepy's got a bit of a run on Danger as well as we go up the hill. Might not be enough to, yeah, he can't get the move done as we enter this tight, twisty section on the highway. Gin Tonic's in the back there as well, still hasn't managed to get into the top 10. So Sheepy's gonna try and move around the outside of Danger. Really difficult to do around turn 1, and manages to keep it out of the wall. And he's got the move done, but he's gonna come under a lot of pressure here. Looks like Little Sheepy's going to win that one. I'm actually going to rewind because I've seen Quackhouse was doing lined up a really good move. So he's gone really wide at this braking zone many times, but he manages to hit the apex beautifully and get the move done on Davi. The move's back up in a P6. Great overtake there. We've got Berserk kind of on his own now. Yeah, Black Widow has driven away from him, but Black Widow's also already trying to get a move done on T Smithy on the entrance into the tunnel. Both of them have great straight line speed, and this is going to be really difficult for them to go side by side. Excuse me, tell a lie, it was JP and Smithy. I thought Black Widow was involved there, but actually it was Smithy taking advantage of probably a mistake from JP, and is JP's gonna try? No, it backs out of it. Smithy gets the braking, actually not too good, but he does get a faster exit by taking a really unintentionally wide line in there. It gives you a better run up this hill. This is all really good news for Millsy, who is in P1. Millsy and Smithy, it is a 1-2 for the Nismos at the moment. So that would be a great help for their Constructors' Championship if they can manage to convert this 1-2 into a win. Smithy already driving away from them, and actually JP goes wide and gifts Black Widow another place, so it's actually all falling into Black Widow's lap really easily here. She hasn't had to do too many overtakes. She just had to bide her time, and the drivers in front have actually made mistakes, and the next person up will be Smithy. JP on his soft tyres will probably have Mr. Berserk in his rearview mirrors pretty soon. Quackhouse still solidly in P6, actually driving away from David now. He's getting caught by Lil Sheepy, who's trying to salvage his feature race after a bit of a shaky start. And Jin is up to P11 now. Needs to get a move on. He's he was joint championship leader going into today and finished a couple of positions behind Berserk, who is now the championship leader on his own on points. So Jin really needs to finish ahead of Berserk to catch back up and hold and, well, basically maintain his advantage in the championship, or reclaim it at least, but it's not working out that way so far in this race. But still a long way to go. We're only 11 minutes in of a 40-minute race, lap 6 out of 21, as I said. Jin's going to have a good chance to take SD coming out of this tunnel and into the hairpin. The problem is if you catch up too much, you're faced with a choice of trying to overtake right here, which doesn't usually work, or lifting off, which compromises the run down to the hairpin, and he's going to try and outbrake Stewart. He does hit the apex beautifully. Stewart's going to have a run as well, and there's some cars ahead who dropping back as well. That was Davi, who really made a pig zero of the corner as they're bumping now Jin and Stewart. And Stewart goes really wide through the first part of this sequence of corners, but still maintains the position. Davi is just ahead of both of them and leaves the door wide open for both of them as well to just swoop right past. And Stewart and Jin are now battling for 9th place. Now is he going to get it done into turn 1? Not quite, not quite. Doesn't look like he's going to have the run into the 3rd corner either, but David is coming under pressure now from D-Dubs, who's got the inside as well for the square corners. Yep, D-Dubs hits his apex perfectly, gets the position. David gets bumped out a little bit of the way by Marvel, who claims that position from him as well, and now he's all out of shape, and he's unfortunately spun, and he's going to be near the back with Denture, who must have also had I think he had a problem at the very start, and he's still trying to catch up, and he's getting penalties as well. But back at the front, we've got Millsy approaching the hairpin, comfortably in P1. T Smithy is catching him up though, that gap's definitely shrank. And Black Widow is an equal distance behind him as well. They've got Berserk, with JP's actually kept up with Berserk quite nicely since he got overtaken. as he goes into the pits very early for his stop, so definitely going to be trying a 2-stop JP. Now we've got Quackhouse with Lil Sheepy all over the back of him, which is a battle for P5 now, which we might stick with for a couple of laps. Yeah, the tyre wear on that Supra, it is very fast, but the tyre wear is quite significant. Oh, Quackhouse defending very well through this highway section as we round the final bend onto the pit straight. Well, it's not the pit straight because the pit's further down, it's the start and finish straight. This Jag definitely has a straight line speed advantage, and he's got the inside line for turn 1. So as long as he can hit the corner well, he's going to have that position. Quackhouse may... Actually, no, he's got such a good exit. I don't think Quackhouse is going to actually challenge again going into the square corners. Goes wide again. Maybe this is just the line he decides to take, because he doesn't actually lose too much time doing that compared to the others, but I usually take a quite tight line there and try and well, each to their own. Obviously it's working for him. He has lost a little bit of ground to Sheepy though, to be fair. And then SD has Stuart pretty close behind. All these cars further down here. Let's see where JP's come out. I'm assuming he's in last place, yeah. But he is all over the back of Davith, who obviously hasn't pit. JP is doing a medium stint, so he's one of the only drivers on the track on medium tyres. And Davith's tyres are incredibly worn. Again, the AMG is another car that's not too good on tyre life. But yeah, Millsy is... Whoa, the gap's closed even more between Millsy and Smithy. So Smithy really having a good time this weekend. Well, it's actually a Monday that this was. He's having a really good night anyway. He's from P3 and now he's P2 in this race. I feel like Black Widow's catching up to Millsy as well. So there won't be a move just yet. Let's see. Berserk's just all on his own. And then there's a huge gap back to Lil Sheepy. So I'm assuming a lot of these guys will be pitting this lap. It is the right kind of time. Although Berserk is on medium, so he won't be pitting just yet. He'll be extending. And actually Black Widow's on mediums as well. So these two will be staying out and extending and trying to get an overcut on Smithy and Millsy ahead. The medium soft is probably the optimal strategy because you are going to have clearer air on your soft tyres compared to just trying to work your way through the pack on the softs at the start of the race. So let's have a look. They are very, very close together. And if they're both pitting, they'll need to get this sequence right. Yep, they are both pitting. Very important that you don't... Oh, no, Smithy stays out and Millsy goes in the pits. Okay. So that should allow Smithy some clear air, but he's going to get caught by Black Widow probably on this next lap before he pits again. But it'll give Millsy a bit of an undercut on Smithy for sure, as long as Millsy comes out without having too much traffic, which he might actually do. Got Jin and Stuart going past. Even Reese and Estes dropped behind Reese now, actually. And now Millsy comes out in 10th, so he's going to have... He's on mediums as well. He's just come out ahead of Marvel, which is good, but he is a... Oh, is Marvel going to challenge him, though? Oh, he's lost out. That's a nightmare. That is the worst thing to have for Millsy's strategy. He's going to get stuck behind Marvel, who's on much more worn tyres. Spike coming out of the pits ahead as well. He'll be kicking himself for that. This is great news for Marvel's teammate, who's Berserk as well, who's extending on those medium tyres. or maybe another 3 laps. Millsy will have, if he can get alongside, he will have a much better tyre grip going into this next braking zone. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to though. Oh, see, he could brake a lot later there. That's why he gave Marvel a little bump. It's just going to go through anyway. They are battling. Oh, he does cut. He's going to get a penalty for that anyway. And that's allowing Danger behind, who's on a bit of a recovery drive, to close up to the back of both of them. Let's see a little bit further up. Jin has caught up to Quackhouse now. Great for Jin. He needs to get an overtake done as Smithy goes into the pits. Quackhouse is on the soft, so he might be pitting this lap as well, which would be good news for basically all the medium runners behind him, because he's going to probably not have the pace advantage on them at the moment. Nope, he's going for another lap. Nope, he's going in the pits. He's going to definitely get a 3-second penalty for that. So let's see, where does Smithy come out? Smithy comes out in P5, ahead of Reese, ahead of Millsy, who's 3 positions behind him. So actually got the overcut done on Millsy, who had all sorts of problems this lap, battling and trying to get an overtake done and losing lots of time that way. So that's worked out perfectly for Smithy. He's got Stuart quite a distance in front, so Stuart will for sure be pitting. Yeah, it has to be for this lap because he's on the softs and they are very worn. He's still not too far behind Jin though. And how's Berserk doing compared to Black Widow? Both go through the square section at the same time, but Black Widow definitely has an advantage. So basically it's Black Widow and Berserk in the top 2 and Smithy in P5, who's already made his stop. He's going to have to work his arse off to get the undercut done on them. So they're lapping in the 57s. Smithy hasn't set a lap since he pit though. You can see he's driving away from Reese there. Ooh, in the wall for Stuart. That's his tyres going off. He's probably taking the corner the exact same as a few laps ago, but he just doesn't have the grip there, and that's why he made a little of tap to the wall, which will cost him time through this tunnel section. Black Widow comes in on lap 11, so she's going to do 10 laps on the softs. Probably responding a little bit to Smithy and maybe trying to get a bit more of an undercut on Berserk as well. Optimal time is usually lap 12, but that Corvette I doubt has the, 3% left on the Corvette, so it just doesn't have enough fuel in it. So that means a longer refueling time for Black Widow as well compared to these drivers that are still out, so Jin and Berserk. And that's why I said it was a better car for the sprint, because you don't need to refuel it during the sprint race. So where does Black Widow comes out? Actually, Black Widow comes out behind Millsy as well. So Millsy and Smithy managed to get the undercut on Black Widow there, which is a nightmare for her. And great news for Berserk, who's got one more lap of clear air to just try and not make any mistakes. And Millsy will be wanting to do his teammate Smithy a favour here as well by holding up Black Widow for as long as possible. She is very close already. Now is Millsy gonna... Oh, he doesn't go to protect the inside for the next line. And she gets the move done fairly easily, and the next one in her sights will be SD, who still hasn't pit. He might be coming in this lap anyway. Looks like Millsy also got half-second penalty, which is going to help his cause. Smithy's already catching up really a lot to Jin there. And Berserk, is he going to pit, or is he going on? He's going for another lap. So he'll be pitting on lap 13. He's dragging out one more lap. Time will tell if that is a good move. He's going to have fresher tyres at the end of the race for sure, which is going to be a massive help. but I can't help but thinking, considering Black Widow came out behind Millsy, he's going to be losing plenty of time to Black Widow and obviously Smithy as well. So yeah, they are still coming through the highway section. Smithy's got a lovely advantage, but obviously remember he's on the medium tyres and Black Widow's on the soft, so if she can close in, she definitely does have the tyre advantage to get a move done under, you know, braking. There's a lot of heavy braking zones. You can brake a lot later on these softs. And she does just set the fastest lap there with a 55.1. Smithy is on a 57.7, so that's 2 seconds a lap faster she is. 58 for Jin and a 57.8. So yeah, Black Widow will probably still be ahead of Berserk when he ends up pitting. Surely at the end of the, yeah, it has to be at the end of this lap. Look at his fuel, he doesn't have much left. Same for Jin. So the two Nismos be able to save enough fuel in this opening half to squeeze out that extra half lap that they had to save, essentially, in order to stretch it out to 13 laps. There is a good advantage of staying out on this track that isn't as apparent on others, because obviously your car goes faster on low fuel than it does on high fuel, so able to pull away on the straights a little bit more and not lose as much time. Yeah, Berserk's in the pits. It looks like Jin's going to follow. Yeah. And now we've got Smithy just behind Jin. So let's see, he should be ahead of Berserk quite comfortably. But also Berserk doesn't have to put as much fuel in as Smithy or Black Widow had to put in. Yeah, Black Widow is ahead of Berserk as well. And then Berserk comes out just behind Black Widow though, so definitely much closer to her than I anticipated. And he'll be able to just try and chase it down with those tires are at what, 2 laps? I think 2 or 3 laps fresher than Black Widow's. You see, she's not lost much tire life though. Smithy looks like he went fairly wide on that final corner. Did a 57 flat compared to Black Widow's 55.5. Not quite as fast, 4/10 slower than the fastest lap, but still catching Smithy by, you know, 1 or 2 seconds a lap is well, we've got what, 6 laps to go. She's definitely going to catch him before the end of this race. So this top 3, oh, Millsy's actually pretty close to them as well. That's good to see for Millsy. And JP, after all of this, who pit very early, is in 5th place. So managed to get the undercut on a few guys, and Jin, who extended, managed to get the overcut on 1 or 2 as well. He was ahead of Sheepy, who is now behind him in P7, and we got Stuart in P8. Comfortably ahead of SD, and then there's all sorts going on just behind. Marvel holding out a queue of cars, including the 2 Vantages and Reese in the Jag. Yeah, oh, really late on the brake for D. Is he? Oh, he couldn't quite. Oh, but Marvel goes a bit wide. He's taking a wider line, and that's going to give him. Yeah, he manages to protect his P10 for now. There is a yellow flag. Let's see. Oh, it's Danger. It looks like he's just parked up. I guess he's given up. Oh, Danger, keep going. You can still get good points. Every single position from P15 up gets points, but P16 doesn't. Yeah, none of them are too close. Yeah, Black Widow still has quite a lot of work to do to catch T-Smithy. Looks like Reese has managed to get past D-Dubs as well. And Quackhouse has lost a bit of time there, maybe went wide at one of the corners. Yeah. Oh no, what's happened there? Marvel hits the wall and then Reese just basically plows into the back of him, gives him a bit of a bump draft. And that's letting him live and survive for another day, as yeah, we've still got D-Dubs and Quackhouse really close together as well here. SD looks like he's not too far off Stuart now. Little gaps are starting to form. I think this is still the closest one. Right, I see. That's why there's yellow flags, because Denja's just going to stay parked there. So that means you can't get any overtaking done there, which is a bit rubbish. Reese can close up a lot by the end of the straight. Oh, he goes really wide around the hairpin though. I thought he was going to try and cut back and get a good exit, but it was just wide all round. So just under 10 minutes left of this race. Ooh, Marvel goes really wide again. This is going to give the Jag a great run. He opts for the outside line through the tunnel, but he might actually get the move done before the braking zone here, because he does seem to have really good acceleration compared to Marvel. And key question is going to hit the apex here. Marvel has a look around the outside actually, but no, it's all the inside line is always the one. Oh, he's done it. He's managed to keep that position. Really impressive. Little bit of contact, but yeah, and he's managed to break away a little bit. I think Reese might be a bit agitated. He's hitting walls and going a little bit squirrely on the exits of some of these corners, which is allowing D-Dubs to close in now again. Let's see what's happening elsewhere on the grid. So Black Widow is, well, Smithy's lapping pretty well, it's 56.4. Black Widow 55.6, so 8/10ths quicker than on the last lap. And that is why the gap is so close now. Berserk 57.7 is fairly slow compared to the top two, so he'll struggle potentially to catch them unless he can find some more pace pretty quickly. And Millsy seems to be on his own, as does Jin, as does Sheepy, just driving their own races, hoping someone ahead probably makes a mistake. And JP seems to be driving away from Stuart as well. Looks like he's just pit for softs. Yes, I did say we would be on a two-stopper. So he's managed to pit the second time and still be in P7, so that's a really good that strategy's worked out really well for JP. He could be on for a stronger result as well, because his tyres are fresher than everyone in front of him. Let's stick with Black Widow for now, because maybe by the end of this lap she'll be right behind Smithy. Oh, Smithy's got some damage, and oh no, that's Denja. Oh, he's going again. I was about to say he has some damage, but he doesn't. Smithy is lapping as quickly as he can. He's so far after 2 sectors up on his, well, not up, just slightly down, 0.031 on his fastest lap. Berserk's taking those corners much better. There's a yellow flag. Must be a driver that they're coming up to lap potentially. Oh, it's Danger again. Managing to maintain the gap pretty well at the moment. The longer he can stay ahead of Black Widow, the closer to the end of the race, that those soft tires may start going off. He goes really wide into that corner though. And again, he loses a bit of traction there. That's gonna, and he goes wide again. Oh, what a nightmare. That's gonna give Black Widow a run up into this really long right-hander. Smithy might be able to just, no, he's already behind. And just like that, you lose P1. But it was always going to be a tough ask. He might be able to do something through the tunnel. He is very close behind Black Widow here. It's not enough, not this time. And that may be it for the challenge for the win, because Smithy is, well, surely going to lose some time as we go up through the highway twisty section, which is just going to favour the soft tyres massively. Yeah, she's already building a gap. Ooh, lovely power slide through there. Probably not intentional. And how's Berserk doing? He's just at the beginning of this section, so he's fairly far back. Milty P4. Jin, once again, 2 positions behind Berserk. So the championship lead for Berserk is set to extend once again by another 5 points. JP battling with Lil Sheepy now. So JP holding off Little Sheepy pretty well here. He does have the tyre advantage as well, as we approach lap 19 out of 21, so only a few laps to go. Sheepy hitting the wall slightly there, might have a run on the way down into the square corners. JP manages to hold him off for now. Let's see what's going on near the front. He's got Black Widow, still not that far ahead of Smithy, to be honest. Smithy's tyres might actually be coming back to him because he's got a lot more life left in those medium tyres than the Corvette in the softs. Berserk is a long way back though, off of Smithy, so we'll have a difficult time getting anything higher than 3rd tonight. And Milty doing really well here in P4. Oh, Sheepy's got a half-second penalty as well, so that's going to probably end that little battle unless JP has a bit of a mistake. SD set to get solid points in P8, and Stuart fairly similar to his sprint race, around about 10th place. He's in P9 now. Reese is in 10th. Marvel, after battling so much at the beginning of the race, has dropped to 11th now, and D-Dub's down to 12th after being up in 7th for quite a while of this race. We've got Davith and Super Cracker going at it here near the back. Oh, Davith hits the wall there, but manages to actually keep the position. I think there was a little bit of contact with Cracker. Davith has damage as well, so I'd imagine Cracker could get the move done into this hairpin. Ooh, he doesn't go for the move in the end. He kind of backs out. Both of them hit the apex quite nicely though. We've got Quackhouse in P15, so he'll get the final point, and Denja will get 0. But yeah, we're on the penultimate lap now. Black Widow solidly in first place, and looks like Smithy's dropped off a little bit there. I wonder if there are some fuel issues for T Smithy. He's only got small. Well, he's in the red. Everyone else has still got some white in terms of fuel, so he's running on empty here. So I wonder if he's going to have to turn down his engine, because it looks like he's underfueled. Definitely. This might be absolute gift for Berserk, who, if Black Widow's going to be winning like the remainder of the races, he needs to be getting these P2s. Just make sure that he wins the championship off her. So if he can get P2 here, that would be a fantastic result for him, only losing minimal points to Black Widow, who's going to get the fastest lap as well. But yeah, looks like T Smithy only realised this lap potentially that he's about to run out. He's got half a minute to go until he starts his final lap. I think he's only fueled for 20 laps, and there's going to be 21 for him. This Black Widow's already started a final lap. And here we go. Let's see what this lap time is for Smithy. A 2:04. So he's must be on fuel map 5 or something like that to be going that slow. He's lost, what, 7 seconds? And Berserk is in at 1:57, so he's 7 seconds last time slower. He's definitely not 7 seconds ahead of Berserk now. I wonder, are these guys going to be rounding the corners? Yeah, we're on the final lap now, so I think... No, Jin's on his final lap. Let's see. No one's actually crossed the line yet. Oh, apart from Denge. But let's stick with this battle. You can see JP finishing 6th to the Sheepy 7th. We'll go through that lot at the end, because they didn't manage to get the final lap, which I'm assuming Smithy didn't think he'd get his 21st lap, but he's driven incredibly well this week. Probably his strongest week of the season. The only mistake he's made is on fuel, and Berserk's just going to cruise past him, unfortunately. He's going to limp home. He's going to try and save his fuel up to the end of this race, and hope that Millsy, who definitely has enough fuel, doesn't catch up to him. And what about Jin? Jin's probably going to have to cruise a little bit as well, but that's probably enough to get him to the end of the race. So let's just stick with Black Widow, actually, because she's going through the highway section, this nice little twisty section of the track, which is really good for the grippier cars and really good on the soft tires as well, but very different from the rest of the track. She goes round the final corner to take win number, let me double check, win number 2 in a row, 5 in total. Definitely moving up the championship order into 2nd place now. Berserk will be the championship leader by 7 points ahead of Black Widow, with a great recovery drive there to get 2nd place. T Smithy, still a really good result, a double podium this week for Smithy, so he should be pleased with that. Millsy P4, I'm pretty sure, is the best result of the season. Yeah, he only managed a P6 as his highest previously, so that was really good for him. Then obviously we had P5 for Jin, so he's now 13 points behind Berserk. He's going to have a really good final couple of weeks. 6th place for JP, that was his best result of the season, so he moves up into 7th place in the championship, and a P7 for Sheepy, so he moves 25 points behind Berserk. So, and Smithy is 36 points. So really it is still a 5-horse race, but Berserk and Black Widow seem to be the fastest drivers of the tier based on the last few rounds. They've both shared 1st and 2nd place last week and this week. So yeah, it looks like it's going to go down to the wire between those two. But Jin and Sheepy and Smithy, to be fair, you can't really rule them out. If they manage to get wins next week and in the final round, they could be there right at the end. So yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.